How is it going, everyone? Welcome to more Gran Turismo 4, and it's time to start the extreme events. I don't know what's so extreme about them, because the last thing that you have to do to unlock them is beating the World Championship, which essentially requires a Minolta, well, not a Minolta, it requires an LMP, but oh my bad, didn't mean to enter here. The first event apparently has opponents that are the ones that the image shows, which are like a Subaru Impreza. Like, these are a lower tier of racing cars. I could check the preview to see what I could expect, but if I were to pick the Minolta, these guys are getting destroyed. Like, I don't understand why they put this event here when you already have a car that will obliterate it, but maybe I'm wrong. Actually, I am wrong. This is an LMP. Okay, so I guess it was clickbait. This is indeed with LMPs, alright, well, I guess we're still on the LMP craze. Is this gonna be harder than the Gran Turismo World Championship though? Wait a second, did I select the championship? Yeah, I think I did, because otherwise it would have shown the option for the preview, I think. Yeah, it is the championship. So, oh, the Sauber Mercedes? Maybe we might need to re-roll this. We will see though. It says 4-point race. Not sure why. When the Sauber is a very powerful car. So I'm just surprised at the fact that the other thing is a clickbait. Like, the image for this Grand Prix is just a clickbait. It's normally, as I say, not a good idea to continue when a Sauber is here, but it doesn't seem like this one is gonna be a problem. I also don't know if using hard tires or medium ones is a better idea. I think these are shorter races than the ones in the World Championship, so if they are shorter, going with the hard tires might be an exaggeration. We will see though. Against this Sauber, well, actually, unless it's a different Sauber. I remember the Sauber Mercedes that appear in World Championship being extremely fast, but this one doesn't seem to be a problem whatsoever. I'm a little bit confused here. Well, maybe I'm speaking too soon. Maybe I shouldn't be speaking this soon yet. It's a bad idea. Still surprises me though. Because essentially, this is easier than the World Championship, right? If it's shorter races, and not to mention that it seems like the opponents are mostly... Well, I think I should go lucky that there is, I think, only one LMP, which is the Sauber Mercedes, and that's it. Because the other cars are a lower category. But this is gonna be free then. There is no way I can lose this. So it's also true that this is a high-speed ring. High-speed ring is an easy track, and not to mention it was also a standing start. Might be different if it was a rolling start, but in this track, not really. I would have still have gotten this far. Well, it's also true that this is international A license. Still the S license is in use. It's using the other ones in the other events lower, but I think this is the only one on extreme events that requires IB. I think there's also the last one that requires all cars. That one requires international B. This one is international A. The other ones are S. You have the Dream Car Championship, the Polyphony Digital Cup, and the Win event. Well, and you also have the Formula GT Championship, but we are not gonna worry about that one for now. Not a good idea. This is being a bustard without a doubt. This Sauber looks so tough on the World Championship, but here he's not looking very tough at all. And keep in mind that I'm using hard tires. My performance will be better with medium, and even like that, it's not even close for him to win. That's weird, but it's fine. I think that if I had the opponents that showed up in the preview, which were the Mazda, Nissan, and I don't know which other one showed up, but against those I think it would have been more interesting. Well, I'm gonna lap 2 cars most likely, right? I'm gonna lap this Camaro, but the other one that is in 5th place, before the end of the race, I'm most likely gonna lap him. A little bit awkward. But see, here's the thing. If here, instead of picking the Minolta, I end up picking something like the car that got awarded to me in the World Championship, which is the Ford GT race car. Not that one that is here. This is an older model, like the newer model. Even if I use that one, I wouldn't be able to compete against the LMPs. And as long as the LMPs are possible opponents, yeah, you cannot rely on anything that is not that. But you can also be good enough to deal with it regardless, but not my case. I feel like at this point, might as well make every opponent make it an LMP. Like, why wouldn't you? Seems like I understand the randomness in like which LMP is gonna show up, but I think you should guarantee that all of them should be LMPs. That was so free. But it makes sense that it only gives you 4 points, but theoretically, that Sauber Mercedes is actually the same category I am. In the sense that it's from the same year, like the same competition. So this is as fair as it gets, but it seems that my opponent is lacking on speed. On speed and maybe on brain too. I don't know. Fushi Speedway. Sure. If you keep doing standing start, I'm gonna walk all over you, you know? You're not winning with standing start. I can guarantee you that. So far, it seems that it's not a very extreme start for the supposedly extreme events. It's just like a lighter version of the World Championship. Yeah, a little bit weird, but it's fine. Particularly mine. Though I would have liked, if that was the case, that the races will be a little bit shorter. Because with this length, even if they are free, well, open my mouth too soon. I don't remember if I played this version of this track, because this is the old version of Fuji Speedway, but it's the one that does not have the chicane. Basically, you completely skip the chicane, and that corner is not the issue. It's the issue that the corner that comes afterwards that is the issue. At least with this, I'm giving the Sauber a chance to win, you know? I'm a very generous person. Always like giving opportunities. Yeah, that's the reason why I'm purposely going slower. No, but it's fine. I gotta figure out how to do that last corner. Because here you go full speed. But here you gotta slow down a bit. It's fine. Downshift to 4. I'm using automatic transmission, so that's something that you go by going slower. Hey, look at the top speed. If you look at the top speed, the Sauber is actually very close to me. So I don't know what happened to him in the previous race, but this guy is a worthy opponent. Just that he is very bad on corners, it seems. And using hard tires, racing hard tires seems to be the right call, I think. Yeah, that was a little bit too slow. Yeah, at least that's a relief. The fact that it's only the AI being done, but not the car that it has been underpowered. The car is more than enough to win. Just that the driver is the one that is not enough. And this wouldn't have been any different with the Minolta or the Nissan. In fact, it probably would have been easier with them. I'm pretty sure the Sauber is faster than them. So I would have appreciated at least having like more than one LMP, but it's fine. It's whatever. And the other events are probably gonna be the same, right? Like the dream car. Well, there is one that I know for a fact that is not the same, because it requires you to use standard or sport tires. You cannot use racing tires. So that one kinda intends you to not use a racing car. That being said, I'm most likely gonna use a racing car, but we will see. I need to see what my intended opponents are gonna be. Gosh. It's an annoying off track. I think that I'm so confident that I can win every race for free here that I think I'm not even gonna bother auto-saving before every race. only before the last one, simply so if the game crashes I have a backup, but I think that's the only time, because I don't see myself losing any of these races. Though it is true that we also haven't really seen any rolling start race yet. And maybe with rolling start reaching the Sauber is gonna be harder. It's possible, but I'm not so sure. I keep failing this corner. Such a devilish corner. And it's the typical corner that makes it look like it's a fast corner until you are there and you realize it's not. It's not fast at all. Well, it's kind of like the final one. Final one makes you think it's full speed until it isn't. Oh, and I'm gonna lap the Camaro again. Or will I? No, I won't. In fact, when the AI takes over, it just decides to ram the car against the poor Camaro. A poor Camaro is doing whatever it can, you know. Cannot do much, but it tries. It's not his fault. Well, I don't know, maybe it is his fault, but yeah. Okay, we're gonna get a rolling start now. So, getting a rolling start in Laguna Seca. Well, Laguna Seca is a track that it seems that every time it has given me a nice race in it. Will that be the case here? Now I have to warp to reach the Sauber. And we have 7 laps. Laguna Seca is more or less... Wow, I really fucked that corner up. Holy shit. I thought I could do it so much faster. I was out to say that Laguna Seca is... Wow, I'm failing every corner now. Holy shit. What's going on? Yeah, at this rate, the Sauber is gonna win 100%. There is no doubt. Just failing absolutely every corner. Oh, got 8 seconds to reach him. Good luck doing that. It should be fine. Maybe I won't reach him, but since this is a championship, it doesn't matter. You know, what I gotta do is start braking sooner, apparently. Like, I'm taking every corner as if I was driving a Formula 1, but I'm not. Well, if I was using racing medium tires instead of racing hard, pretty sure that I will be able to do the corners the way I was trying to. Yeah, don't worry. We're back on track. It's also the fact that I don't think I ever did Laguna Seca with a car as fast as this one. I'm fucking dead on the corkscrew. God damn it. The corkscrew sucks no matter what, but damn. Like, I need to learn every corner as if it was a new one. So I really think that in this game I haven't... Well, in this game, or probably in any game, I remember using the Minolta... Well, the Minolta, no, obviously. I mean, a fast car like the Minolta in a track like this one. The Laguna Seca is It's not usually used for monsters like this, you know. Usually it tends to be used for smaller cars. It's fine, I'm gonna reach this guy, don't worry about it. Also, how is it going, Sunshine? Yeah, I'm here doing, well, what's supposed to be the post-game of this game. What happens after the credits. In this case, the extreme events. So far, they don't seem very extreme at all, but that's fine. If they don't want to be extreme, they don't have to be. That was also not a very good corkscrew. That's fine. Alright. Okay, well, we are about to get this guy. I wonder, you know, if we get a race in Le Mans against this guy, that's the one race that I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to win. Because I'm not good in Okay. I'm not good in Le Mans, but there's also the fact that he is as fast as me when it comes to top speed, and Le Mans is mostly a high-speed track. You're good? Okay. Good to know. So yeah, if we get to Le Mans, that might be the hardest track of the championship. But so far these ones, we can rely on the fact that this guy is bad at corners. It's no problem. So now I'm also afraid of doing Nürburgring because the World Championship did not have Nürburgring as a race. Which means that so far in this game I haven't really done Nürburgring with an LMP, and that could go very badly. Like that could go terribly, even. I guess this is not gonna be that free to win if I don't pay attention. It's not one of those championships that you can just casually, you know, not give a fuck and still win. You need to pay at least a little bit of attention. I still think the choice of racing hard tires is the right one. If I were using medium, I feel like I will be very, very close to wear them out. Though maybe they are, like, these races are made for you to use racing medium tires after all. It's a possibility. I could switch them, I mean, before a race starts you can go to settings and then very easily swap the tires. I obviously have them since they are the ones that came by default with this car. That shouldn't be a problem. Well, there's also the fact that if I use medium, it will make this a lot easier. Like, winning this with medium tires will be absolutely trivial. It wouldn't have any challenge to do something like that. But yeah, because of that, I think that I'll remain with the current configuration. It does seem that like the Minolta is really the answer to all your problems in this game. I'm pretty sure that, except for those events, of course, that require something specific, like, I don't know, a car from a specific time, like a specific year, or with a specific height, or from a specific country. Like, aside from those events, it seems that you can probably make the Minolta enter any tournament or any event in general, and it's most likely gonna win. So once you get the Minolta, it's like you beat the game. Well, the exception being, of course, the Formula Championship. That one I haven't tried, but if it is like a Gran Turismo 3, you're not beating a Formula car with an LMP. It's not gonna happen. So we are in Autumn Ring. This is also a very weird track to race. It's a track that is gonna be... It's a track thought for small cars, not for these monstrosities. So I'm gonna struggle here. Most likely gonna drive against the wall very quickly. So how is it going, Wasabi? Yeah, my idea is to play Drive Club after I'm done with Gran Turismo, which is not gonna happen for a while, because keep in mind that, well, aside from whatever might be remaining, the thing is that tomorrow my idea is to start preparing. Well, I already prepared. Oh, what the hell? Look at that. The Sauber is going off track. It's what I told you. These cars are not made for this track. It's a track for slow cars, not for this. Ah, that's fucked up. It will suddenly pull your access to the game again. Well, I kinda doubt it, because the thing about Drive Club is that what I couldn't access to is the download. You know that? Remember that game called PT that was supposed to be a Silent Hill kinda game made by Kojima and Guillermo del Toro, I think, right? I think it was made by those two guys, and they canceled that game because Kojima left Konami. And that game got pulled out of the store because, it wasn't a game yet, it was a demo. But basically, nobody could access the demo ever again. So, what happened with that is that everyone that already downloaded the demo, and this guy keeps going off track like me just for paying attention to him. Everyone that already downloaded the demo can play the game without problems. Like, you can play the game as if it was never pulled out. But if you never downloaded it, you won't be able to download it. With Drive Club, it's a similar situation. If you have Drive Club in your system, you can play it as much as you want. But if you don't own it, you can forget about playing it because you will never be able to purchase it. And if you already purchased, which was my case, I purchased it on release pretty much, but I didn't have it installed. If you want to download it, that's where the problem is. Since the problem already went away because I was able to download it and even play it, I was able to verify that the download was successful, I shouldn't have any issues. Unless my PS4 dies, which also could happen, could always happen. But I will prefer playing Drive Club after Gran Turismo 4. Probably. And as I was about to say, with Gran Turismo 4, my idea is tomorrow I'm gonna play Toho 19, right? Because theoretically, if Soon is not a lazy fuck, Toho 20 should be available on Steam on Sunday. So that way I play 19 a day before, and the day 20 releases on Steam, I play 20. And then the idea is to play 20 for a while. Well, when I say a while, I probably mean a week or two. And then once I'm done with 20, I will get back to this and try to finish it. That's the idea. Whether that plan goes well or not, I don't know. But after that's done is when Drive Club will come. But then again, don't think that Drive Club is much different from this game. The only difference is that in Drive Club, I don't remember the races being one-sided. You always have competition because the cars that you drive against are similar to yours every time. But it's still like a pure racing game, you know? You will see races and more races. It's everything the game is. It's all about racing. So it's not much different than this, except that it has prettier graphics. Though it has prettier graphics but worse frame rate. Because the PS4 is a piece of shit. It's just like any console from that generation. So running a game like that at 60 frames per second is apparently impossible. So yeah. The game definitely does look a lot prettier. Even sounds a lot prettier. Like, you know that in this game, the engine sound that the cars make kinda sounds like a vacuum cleaner, right? Like, it just sounds like someone is cleaning the floor. But in Drive Club, the engines sound fantastic. And they are supposed to imitate the actual real engines of the cars they are simulating, instead of this game that has more generic sounds that don't really go with every car, you know. So yeah. How else are they supposed to keep the track clean? Actually, that's an interesting question. How are they supposed to keep the track clean? I mean, I know that there are gigantic vehicles that have like a gigantic roller that cleans the pavement. But that has to be a pain in the ass. I mean, well, imagine how painful it will be in Nürburgring. All the kilometers you have to clean every time. I don't know how often they clean the track. That will be... Well, not just a... Wait, what? Hold up. There's something here that doesn't add up. Am I stoned? Best lap 55, last lap 1 minute 24? What? That's not possible. What's going on here? Is that a bug? I mean, there is no way I did a 55-second lap. What the hell? Well, that's very awkward. It's not physically possible to do 55 seconds. I'm not sure. How did that happen? Like, 24 is pretty slow, but... Wait, hold up. Let me try to do this fast. Did I really do a 55-second lap? I feel like there is no way that happened. There has to be a mistake here. Not like it's important, it's just that it feels a little bit creepy, because there is no way I did 55 seconds here. Right? Am I starting to go insane? I feel like it's a little bit too early in the stream for that. 55 seconds. I mean, even trying my hardest here to go as fast as I can, 55 is not even close to possible. Did I take a shortcut that I wasn't supposed to take? Is that what happened? Maybe that has to be the case, right? Did I go through some cones or something? Did I skip a chicane? While I was distracted talking about Drive Club? Maybe I went through a path that wasn't the right one. It's the only explanation. Right? I will have to check that in the VOD. This is some very weird shit. Very, very weird. Hang on, there's someone pitting in, huh? That's funny. Unless what happened is that the first lap with the rolling start happened in a different place, far from the finish line. That's the only thing I could think of right now. Otherwise, a ghost appeared. The ghost of fast laps appeared and started doing some weird shit. Is this how creepypastas are born? Maybe. Damn, the test scores, really? Should I? Hold up. Can I change the settings to make this thing faster on... in transmission? Full customize. So here... Yeah, you can. Basically making the... No, not the final one. How do you do this? Yeah, like this. So you make it go, yeah, like this here. Like, this is the fastest that you can make it go, I think. If I'm not mistaken, I might be mistaken, but by making the gears longer, you make this go as fast as possible. Has slower acceleration, but ends up with the fastest speed. I'm surprised they were generous enough to only make it 3 laps. If this was Gran Turismo 3, they would have minimum put like 10 laps, and that's if you are lucky. So how fast is this thing gonna go, I wonder? But promise that here at the corner you're not gonna go any faster. You're not gonna get any acceleration. And when we go back to the... Well, in fact, it managed to downshift. Come on. Go back to the straight. But can you really go faster than this? Maybe changing the gears was not the smartest idea after all. And maybe the natural, the default gear configuration would have been the best. Yeah, I might have fucked up. I might have. Well, that's a shame. Because at this rate I'm not reaching him. In fact, the other guys are going faster than I am going. Because I think the problem by doing it like this is that in reality I think that the engine never manages to go fast enough to guarantee having enough gears. But having enough gears, I don't know how to explain it with words, honestly. But this is useful to me. If I am able to push this guy from behind, you know, we already had a mission like this that teaches drafting. Shame that I fucked that up there, but it's fine. Basically, if we can push this guy all the way, we'll be doing fine. It means that I have to be able to push him. And it's hard to push on a corner. That's the problem. Here I'm going faster than if I wasn't pushing him. We're gonna go a lot faster here as well. Alright, come on. Bring it. Need to go faster than this, damn it. We only have 1.5 laps to overtake. I don't think it's gonna happen. Call me pessimist, but I don't know if it's happening. Hey, at least it will be a nice way to fix the fuck up I had, but I feel like if I left the gear bots by default, isn't also this the maximum speed this thing can reach anyways? I don't think it would have changed much. Hey, come on. This car that I'm pushing, by the way, is also a Mercedes. You can use a Mercedes to catch the other Mercedes. Unfortunately, even with this, it seems that my speed is not good enough. I didn't want to overtake him. It's okay, he's gonna overtake back. Unfortunately, this will be a defeat. I will have had to check. Maybe another thing that the game might want you to do is get like a turbo kit upgrade to be able to reach higher speeds. It's possible. I don't know. I do know that with this it is not enough. Well, in fact, it might not even be enough to get second place. I will try overtaking this guy here, but already seen that he goes faster. The mistake, I'm not sure if it really would have been a mistake if I kept it the way it was. I feel like I also wouldn't have been able to do much anyways. That's a shame. I will get the second place though. But then I don't really wanna redo this one. But I guess I will have to eventually. But then again, for the championship it doesn't really matter. For the championship it's nothing compared to my previous wins, obviously. And it's not like we're gonna have like 3 test scores in a row. Well, it's important that I switch it back to default, because this is completely useless in anything else. Set it to default. And maybe this one, I don't know. I will have to retry like that and see if it would have been enough. But I feel that it wouldn't have been enough either. I really don't think this car goes to 400 kilometers per hour by default. It will have been the same, most likely. Maybe that's just me coping, you know? That's also possible, don't get me wrong. I might be coping, but I don't think I am. Definitely not letting you win again. The only other win you might be able to get, Mr. Sauber, is on Le Mans. That's the only other track you're gonna win. And that's assuming that Le Mans is a track here. I was thinking that maybe they wouldn't repeat tracks from the World Championship, but this exact same one was the second to last track of the World Championship. So yeah, I guess they will repeat after all. They just wanna repeat. It is the way it is. Well, and keep in mind that this is also differently from the previous tracks. This one is a long one. So it's also only 6 laps, so it will be worse, but gonna go to the 10-minute territory. I'm also tasting blood. I don't know what I broke inside my mouth, but I think it's probably because of my lip. And that metallic taste. It usually happens that my lips get dry and I kinda get hurt. It's not a big deal. It most likely is the lips. It's quite a difference when it's about a competition of top speed and when it's a competition about actual driving. That this Mr. Sauber cannot really do much. At least that test course race was the perfect example that car is technically faster than mine. But the driver is not. The driver is definitely not faster. Now I wonder if this pool of opponents aside from the special events that require other cars. I wonder if it will always be the same pool of opponents, because it seems to be the case. It seems to be like that. Same time, I would like to use another car that is not the Minolta, but I don't think I have much of a choice. The other option would be unlocking that shower car that apparently gets unlocked at 50% completion, but I don't think I'm reaching 50% completion before finishing the other extreme events. I don't think it's gonna be that way. But yeah. At least I hope that the remaining tracks don't repeat are not repeated from the World Championships, just to at least have some variety. And if it's possible to not have the standing starts, would have preferred having rolling starts simply to have more of a challenge, you know. The differences here really become abysmal with the second place. The guy is just left behind by quite a lot. But then again, if you want to increase the difficulty, you can always disable the racing aids. It's not something that I think it's a good idea, and definitely not with a car like this. Certainly not with a car like this. Also, you know, speaking about Drive Club, you know that there's something that I remember about Drive Club, but I wasn't sure until I tested it yesterday. That Drive Club has no music while you're driving. It only has music in the menus and that's it, and that seems a little bit weird. Like a game with no music whatsoever. I do know that the sound of the engines is extremely loud, so it's not like you're gonna hear nothing, but a game without music sounds weird. It was one thing if it was a simulator, like iRacing or whatever. Drive Club is like the opposite of a simulator. I remember that it was even marketed as an arcade racing game. It was even marketed as a Forza killer. And Forza has always been like the Xbox arcade racing game, you know? So, yeah, having no music in a game like that is a little bit awkward. I gotta make sure that I autosave before reaching the race number 10. It's Suzuka Circuit, okay. With another standing start, huh? You know that at this rate, if I keep using the Minolta a lot, the mileage might start catching up, you know? The mileage might start becoming a problem. Nah, it's gonna be fine, surely. Wait, why is your... I just realized that your right light, or rather the painting that is... Ah, fuck. This is what happens when I pay attention to dumb shit like that. I was gonna say that the placing where the rear right light is green instead of gray like the rest of the car. God damn it. Don't worry. We're gonna catch him. We're just giving him a fighting chance. That set of corners in Suzuka are always gonna be a pain in the ass no matter what, you know. They are made with hatred. As iconic as they are really painful. Okay, now I'm sure. If you look up the speedometer, fuck. Yeah, that's not how you do that, but that's fine. I was gonna say, the speedometer, the 6th gear, there is no way it reaches 370 or whatever. So, doing the change that I did to the gearbox was not a bad idea. You need a higher speed. You could also try installing a nitro and that could work too. Pretty sure this thing has a turbo kit that will help there. Shit, man, this stupid corner. Can't believe that I keep failing it. Hey, the last corner of that collection of corners is a lot sharper than the previous ones, but it's so hard to get it properly. But at least seems that this race won't be as one-sided as I was expecting it to be. Come on, dude. I'm failing every corner again. But I hear the failure of the corners is very noticeable because it's surrounded by sand. That makes you go a lot slower. It's supposed to be a safety feature, you know. It's there so if someone goes off track, when they eventually hit the wall, that they hit it at very slow speeds, so they hopefully don't die, you know. Yeah. I am struggling a little bit to reach him, surprisingly. I will reach him no matter what, but taking a little bit. Taking its time. That was a legal overtake, don't worry about it. 100% legal. So now that I'm on the lead on my own, can I actually do these corners without going off track? Is it possible? So these are corners that are fucked up simply because the previous corners trick you into thinking that the last one is gonna be exactly like them, but it isn't. Very, very messed up. Extremely messed up even. Yeah, no worries. Okay. It seems that this might be the first lap that I actually do clean. Very sad considering that it's the second to last lap, but had to happen at least once. I guess this opponent is here to remind you what happens when you make mistakes. It's there simply to catch your mistakes. Not to really give you a duel. It's simply there as a reminder that you're supposed to go through the asphalt. Okay. Now the problem is that Suzuka Circuit was also another one that was used in the World Championship, so I like the idea that now they are repeating track, especially when you have so many others. So far they haven't repeated the urban tracks. Well, in fact, there wasn't a single urban track yet, right? I mean, now that I say that, maybe the next one will be an urban track just to spite me. I think so far these were all like tracks that were always intended to be tracks, you know. These are supposed to be real racing tracks. Well, real in the sense that, you know, they are not streets. Well, this one in particular is also a real track, but High-speed ring is not, you know. So next one is 8. So on the one after this, I have to autosave. So this is Sonoma, the stock car course. Well, it does seem to change a bit. Like the shape of the layout is different. I think that they remove a bunch of corners, right? I mean, if it's supposed to be used for stock cars, fuck me. So, nice start. So when it says stock cars, are you talking about NASCAR or are you talking about some other type of stock cars? I'm assuming you're talking about NASCAR. Just that you probably were not allowed to say the word NASCAR. you need the license for that. Well, Gran Turismo 5 does have NASCAR, so they got the license there. This might be the NASCAR version of the track. Yeah, I think it has less corners. Because, you know, you gotta keep in mind that NASCAR cars can barely steer. They are essentially like a train that doesn't go on rails, but that if you want to steer, it won't be able to. You better slow down a lot if you want to steer. It ain't happening otherwise. Oh, this track is kinda fucking me up right now, I gotta say. That's an issue. Because I'm not familiar with this version of the track. And that's costing me not being able to reach the Sauber. I mean, at least I am cutting distance. It's not like it's going a lot faster, but still. Gotta do better than this. At least there's also 8 laps. So I do have a lot of time to get him. I cannot sleep. I need to be on the... Well, to be focused. I was gonna say to be on the offensive, but there's nothing to attack if there's not a... Oh, this guy is also going off track. Huh. I'm not the only one that's struggling here, huh? That's good to know. Shit. I like the gap between, you know, both of us and the rest of the cars. Pretty comedic. I should be able to overtake in this lap. Not like that though. I wonder how long the lead is gonna last, because here I was gonna say part of the reason why I'm going fast is because I'm following him, but in reality, if he's gonna make mistakes like that, not really following those mistakes, you know. Also, those pianos are a health hazard. Holy shit. Like, those pianos are there to destroy your car. Like, there's no other reason to put pianos that high, right? Those are very high pianos. It's fine. And the Sauber is still close. This is not gonna be one of those races that that is gonna be complete domination, it seems. So that's what I want to see. So if he keeps going off track in that corner, it might be. Hey, what's wrong with those pianos, dude? Are they there as like... you know that in F-Zero, the game, you have obstacles in the track like mines or lava or whatever. Maybe that's what the pianos are there for. They are just obstacles to fuck you up. Not sure if the safety regulations will be okay with that though. That seems like an illegal obstacle. What do I know? Then again, NASCAR cars in general are a safety hazard. They're like rolling coffins. Though it is true that on recent years they incorporated a lot of safety measures to make sure that drivers don't kill themselves racing. Like for example, when they crash, let's say that they spin, essentially when the car is going backwards, like they are like some, not sure exactly what they are, like they are like some things that flip in on top of the car that are there to kind of try to like to do a parachute effect, right? To make sure the car stops gaining speed. It looks interesting. Like if you look at a NASCAR accident from a recent year, you're gonna see that some things in the car race every time someone spins. Well, not to mention the roll cage or whatever it's called, like basically the cockpit where the driver is. It's completely surrounded by safety stuff, and the driver itself has like a full burn protection suit and obviously a helmet. So yeah, it is true that lately those cars shouldn't be as much of a death trap as they used to be quite some years ago. They are still something that you should be careful. In fact, you know, there is a pretty fun fact about NASCAR cars that I didn't know, but I find to be pretty interesting. NASCAR cars don't have a speedometer, they only have a tachometer. Like, you only know how many revolutions per minute you're going, but you don't know the exact speed you're going. Like that's a rule. It's not like an oversight or that, you know, the technology of the cars is bad enough that it cannot do that. It's a rule to not have a speedometer in NASCAR cars. So they can only look at how fast their wheels are turning rather than their actual speed, you know? Like the actual speed of the car. Nice, and I ended up lapping 2 cars. Just like that. Alright, that was clean. I mean, it wasn't really clean at the beginning though. At the beginning it was kind of a mess, but don't worry about it. We kinda corrected it at the end a little bit more. So the next one is the second to last race, and then remember to autosave in case something bad happens. Wouldn't want something bad to happen. Oh, it's gonna be Le Mans. This is the other race I might lose. I mean, on the right side, if I like forfeit the last 2 races, I still win the championship no matter what. But just like I lost test scores, I might be able to lose Le Mans. Because the Sauber Mercedes is fast, and this is a fast track, but I'm also bad at this track. It's a dangerous combination. So maybe what's gonna happen here is that, unlike the World Championship, they are actually gonna be Le Mans on the second to last race and Nürburgring on the last one. That will be interesting. I don't see the reason to repeat these tracks that already were in the World Championship regardless, but yeah. At least if they put Nürburgring, it wouldn't be a repeat. So if they put Nürburgring, you will have to worry about the fact that you have to drive in Nürburgring, you know? That's a problem in itself. Alright. So, can I reach this guy, I wonder? I don't think I'm gonna reach him in the straight though. And what's the maximum speed I can reach? It's as I say, you don't really reach 370 kilometers per hour on your own. You will need someone's slipstream to do that. And now that I have slipstream, I might be able to. Well, I might know I will be able to. Well, in fact, since I'm gonna overtake him before that, I guess I won't, but that's fine by me. I assumed that he was gonna crash me on the braking thing. In fact, that's most likely what's gonna happen in every corner from now on. Like, it's gonna be a fast corner and well, a fast corner, no, a slow corner coming from a fast straight, and this guy is most likely gonna crash behind me every single time. It also depends on how much distance I'm allowed to win. And what I don't remember is if this is 1 or 2 less laps than the World Championship. I think in the World Championship it was 4 laps of Le Mans, right? It was 4 laps. So it is basically the half duration race compared to that. Well, all things considered, I guess I'm not doing that badly on these corners, you know? I obviously could do better, but I thought that at this point of the race I will be behind the Sauber, but I'm not really. Actually leading the race and with some time to spare as well. Yep. Actually with quite a lot of time to spare. So, interestingly enough, for only being 2 laps here, this might be one of the shortest races in this championship. Despite happening in the longest track so far, but only being 2 laps makes it one of the shortest races. And we will see if we're gonna get Nürburgring, because if we get Nürburgring, it will be exaggerated for it to be 2 laps. We'll expect it to be only 1, but I don't know if that will be the case. With this distance, unless I make a major mistake, this should be way more than fine. This should not be a problem whatsoever. that second chicane, I think that it's a lot slower than the first one, without a doubt. Now, one thing that is true about this configuration with the gearbots is that I pretty much reach the same speed that I was reaching with the other gearbots configuration. It's just that I'm reaching it faster. So I still will probably struggle the same way I did with the other configuration, but maybe even less so. Hard to tell. I mean, it's also something to understand is that I will assume that these cars are configured by default to be the most optimal in Le Mans, since they are supposed to be Le Mans prototypes. And here you will want to have your car configured in a way that it reaches a high top speed, you know. Even if you also like good acceleration for the rest of the track, you will want some. You will also want some top speed. Okay. Well, that went very smooth. Unlike what I initially thought, that was extremely smooth. And very fast as well. Okay, now it's time to autosave. No, I feel like it's when the game starts showing those weird colors before the loading screen. That's when it feels that it's a warning that it's gonna crash. I think I'm gonna reset the game just in case though. Because even if I have the autosave, I would rather not have to retry the last race if it's a long one. Well, even if it's not a long one in a tournament like this, you will want to, you know, I mean, they might not be relatively long to how they could be, like they could be longer, I guess, but you don't want to retry because it's most likely gonna be close to 10 minutes, and you don't want to waste 10 minutes. I rather instead waste like, you know, 2 minutes resetting than 10 minutes redoing the whole race. So yeah, well, resetting and also. Okay, so as expected, it's Nürburgring, and I'm glad I reset, because if the game decides to crash at the end of... Wait, no, this is not what I wanted to do. If the game decides to crash at the end of this track, I don't want to do this one twice. And it's 2 laps. Like, differently from Le Mans, where 2 laps is 7 minutes and something. 2 laps in Nürburgring, even with these cars, is gonna be like 12 minutes minimum. So, well, at least the good thing is that it's a track that wasn't used in the World Championship. And it's essentially the configuration that I thought was gonna be in the World Championship, right? Le Mans at the end, followed by Nürburgring. No, they instead decided to leave them for this championship. I'm not sure if I agree with that decision, especially considering that the credit sequence happens in Nürburgring, which I feel like it would have been a lot more iconic if you also had your last race in Nürburgring. Instead of it happening there, it's gonna happen here. So, using a car like this in Nürburgring seems like something. This is a very fast car, and Nürburgring is a track that outside of that final straight at the end, It's a track with a lot of corners. So a car like this is gonna be like trying to dominate a beast that is surrounded by, you know, by meat cuts. So the beast is going crazy. No, you gotta dominate it. Well, that's how it is here. The beast wants to go fast because that's what it's been done to do. But the corners of this thing make it so you have to take control. So otherwise it will go straight to the wall, and you don't want that, obviously. On the right side seems like we're gonna overtake early, assuming I don't make a mistake. If there's any track I can easily make mistakes, it's this one. So, you know, despite the fact that this game has like a literal 24-hour endurance in Nürburgring, I don't think that the 24-hour version of this track is in the game. The one that combines Nordschleife and the GP section. So that's interesting. I'm pretty sure that they do add it in the following Gran Turismo games, but if it is in this game, they haven't shown it so far. They have only used Nordschleife. Despite how close he is, I still cannot manage to reach him. He's definitely close, but not as close as... Okay, there we go. And that was a legal overtake, I don't believe it. We actually managed to legally overtake this guy in Nürburgring. I feel proud of myself. And that was also a very good section, because you're supposed to go very fast in that whole place. Being able to do that and not losing control is pretty cool. Here comes the first carousel. That's not how you do the carousel though. I'm afraid. You do it like that, you do it by riding the inner side, the way the Sauber did it. Then again, he's behind me, so you can do the carousel well, but that's still not gonna help you. I gotta say that it's fun to use a racing car as fast as this one while trying to stay within the limits of the track in Nürburgring. It's obviously a challenge, but I think it feels nice. The only thing I would wish is that it wasn't 2 laps and instead it was only 1, but hey, that's fine. Ooh, that's quite some speed. Ah, shit. No. Damn it. Oh, that's a problem. Don't crash me, please. Alright, that was bad. But don't worry about it. We have... Well, see, now is when the fact that it's 2 laps is useful. Because that means that I have enough time to correct that mistake. But yeah, you can see how interesting it is. You make 1 mistake and you already lose that much time. It's the way it is in Nürburgring. I mean, in real life you will be out of the race pretty much, depending on how hard the crash was. you will be out. So all things considered, can always be worse, but still a little bit messed up. Don't worry, we got another lap to overtake this guy. And another legal overtake, I don't believe it. Was able to overtake this guy twice in Nürburgring, and the 2 times it has been illegal without anything questionable. That's crazy. It feels like doing that is harder than not having accidents, you know? Because one thing is having no accidents while you're driving on your own, which fully depends on you. But having no accidents while depending on an AI that doesn't really give a shit about you is very interesting. And that was very fast as well. Did that sector very well. I wish the Nürburgring mission in the mission mode, instead of being with the shitty car that you're supposed to use, it was with a car like this. And you know that it's, for what I remember, it's supposed to be a Mercedes mission. So it would have been fitting that you had to use the Sauber Mercedes to do that one, but no. Instead you have to use some shitty ass car with some terrible driving that, you know, basically instead of controlling the car is the one controlling you. Very messed up. I feel that if I use medium tires here, I probably will be in trouble. Though it's not the only track. In Autumn Ring it also would have been a problem. In fact, I think my tires were already starting to get orange in Autumn Ring. Here, I think towards the end of the race they will also be orange. Most likely. Okay, good corner. Let's see if this time I can do the carousel properly. No, I guess not. I guess I'm just not meant to do it properly. I think doing it properly with a monster car like this one is not particularly easy. He's already 10 seconds away. So if I get into an accident like the one I had on the first lap, I think I should be fine. Like, he's probably not even gonna overtake me. Don't worry, we're fine. Very fucked up how the even the track is irregular there. It's like it has a... Like the middle of the track is higher than the sides. The whole straight is a bump. This track is definitely a safety hazard. And this is the corner that I got fucked by last time. That's a very murderous corner. You cannot really realize how slow of a corner it is until it's too late. And also, as expected, my tires are orange towards the end of the race. As expected. So basically, if I pick medium, I will have lost already in 2 races. So I'm glad I picked hard. Definitely was the right choice without a doubt. We can start slowing down a lot later here. I never trust my car stopping in time if I don't start braking early. Well, I hope it doesn't crash because I save state after I cross the finish line. I don't think that will make a difference if it's before or after, but you never know. And now we are gonna be fine, don't worry about it. Okay, no problem. That's a lot less money than the World Championship. So yeah, this felt like a very pointless championship, you know? Because it was essentially, as I mentioned before, the World Championship light. We got a McLaren, a racing car, okay. That looks cool. Wait, BMW, McLaren? Those are 2 different companies. Well, these companies usually all the time get together to do stuff. Then the next one is the Dream Car Championship or Polyphony Digital. We'll also do this one. It's single races instead of a championship. Okay, I wanna do a preview of the cars that are gonna show up here. Judging by the number of laps, it shouldn't be that long. But I wanna see what's my competition like. Oh, okay, so these are slower cars. I have this car actually. You also see a Ford GT and a couple other guys. Okay, well I could equip the car that I like, the Ford GT. I mean, either that car or the one I just unlock. We'll do that. At least to have some variety, you know. Though I'm surprised that that's the one that doesn't have LMP, and the one I just did is the one that has LMP. I thought it was gonna be in reverse, judging by the cover, right? Wait, oh, that's the one that I unlock. So these are very similar, actually. I wanna try this one. It's supposed to be the main car of the game. This is the face of the game, you know? I wanna see how it is to use it. Let's do that real quick. Maybe this is not gonna be enough, and especially without upgrades, and this is gonna be a big mistake, but we will see. Only way to figure that out is by trying. Well, if it suddenly has an LMP, no, it doesn't have LMP. Well, in fact, the car that I pick up also is is used as an opponent here, as you already saw in the preview. So, according to at least the points that I'm gonna get, this should be the right choice. But we will see. The points are always... Well, not always, but they are misleading when they want to. I wouldn't trust them too much. So, after using the the Minolta so much it feels weird to go back at cars that go at this speed, you know. Feels very weird. I promise that this is a hard track. So getting used to another car that I haven't used and that it's slower than... Well, at least the fact that it's slower means that it theoretically should be easier to get used to it, but... This track is very hard. Maybe one of the hardest tracks in the game even. Aside from Nürburgring, I guess. So Nürburgring is a track that I've seen it so much, and even in other racing games, that even though I still haven't memorized it after all this time, and understandably so, it's at least a track that is more or less like, you know, familiar to me. This track, I don't remember seeing it in any other game. Maybe it appears in other games, but this is the only game I've seen it appear. So I'm not familiar with it at all, but even if I was, it feels like it's certainly the hardest one of the urban tracks. Like not even Monaco is as evil as this one. Well, maybe that's an exaggeration. Monaco is pretty evil, but then again, Monaco is also another track that is extremely popular, and you probably already saw it in multiple other games, or, you know, in general, right? Now, maybe the mistake here... The car is certainly not a mistake. That part is for sure. But maybe the tires are a mistake. I'm assuming that the tires I'm using right now are racing medium, right? So using racing medium for races with this duration, I don't think it's a problem, but I don't know, it might be a problem. We will see. Though differently from the Minolta, it seems like the tire wear is more balanced for this car. I'm not sure what drivetrain it has because I didn't pay attention. I don't know if it's a 4WD or what. I mean, if it's a 4WD, it makes sense that the tire consumption is balanced, but I hope that it is enough to withstand the rest of the races. This one I feel like it should be enough, but I might also be wrong on that one. But for the little that I've seen on the first races, at least of this championship, the length is shorter than the previous one. And the previous one was already shorter than the World Championship, so I feel like medium tires should be enough. If I'm wrong though, I'm turbo fucked because I cannot purchase them. Like, you can only purchase stuff before you enter a championship. Once you enter a championship, if you own the tires, you can swap them as many times as you want. But once you own them, if you don't own them, you are not gonna own them either. But yeah, this might be a mistake, because I feel like my tires are already getting into danger territory. On the right side, it seems that power-wise, this car is humiliating the other ones without much trouble. So in the worst case scenario, I have enough advantage to tank whatever mistakes I'm gonna make because of the tires. But yeah, I probably should have used hard tires. But maybe that's also a reason why I have such a big advantage in the first place, because maybe I'm the only one using medium tires and everyone else is using hard tires. We will see. I think, as I say, the tire consumption is gonna be more balanced, so even if they are starting to show up as yellow now, I don't think they are gonna go to orange that quickly like the Minolta. Probably gonna last a little bit more. This is all probably coping though, but nah, it's fine, don't worry about it. We are 100% fine, surely. Though I also find it strange that this championship even exists, because nothing is stopping me from using the Minolta here. I mean, the only one stopping me is myself. I don't want to use the Minolta because it will be an even bigger destruction than the one it's being right now. But if you really wanted to use the best option, there is absolutely no condition or entrance that does not allow you to use the Minolta. You could just easily use the Minolta and that's it. Also, there is another thing. I think this track is harder on the other version. Not sure which one is the straight one and which one is the reverse one. But this version is easier than the one I had in the World Championship. Like, this one actually doesn't feel that bad. Now, unfortunately about the tires, I will start suffering. The rear right tire is going bad. There's only one lap remaining after this one, so at least there's an advantage, and as I said, the fact that I'm so far from the second place that even if I have to steer like I was in a, I don't know, in a Ford Falcon, it should be fine. Because I have enough of an advantage, but yeah, I think it was overall a mistake not getting the hard tires for this. We will see what other tracks show up afterwards. With this one, not an issue, but with the other ones it might be an issue. It's about to go red. At least differently from the Minolta, this car is a lot easier to control, in part because it's slower. Obviously being slower will make it easier to control, but yeah, we're starting to skate on ice right now. Though the next track shouldn't be a problem. The next track is the Tokyo urban track, and it's only 4 laps, so the tire wear shouldn't even be close to a problem. So maybe this one was the exception, like this one is the one that is longer for no reason, or maybe it's the opposite. The Tokyo one is the exception, that is the shortest one, and no other one is gonna be as short as that one. Well, we might be in trouble. We might actually be in trouble, but that was also a very convincing race. You know? Also, yeah, as expected, these are racing medium tires, without a doubt. Surprisingly, the rewards from this championship are better than the previous one, despite the fact that the previous one has more tough opponents than this one. This is Tokyo 4 laps. This should not be a problem by any means. Wait a second. The Ford GT starts in first place. So why did the RX-7, why was he able to overtake that fast in the previous one? Unless he started first in the previous one. Might be. I don't know. What? Legal overtake. Can you believe that? Well, another thing about using racing mediums is that at least the hardest part of the race, that it's the beginning when you need to start overtaking everyone, that's the part that will be easy. Or well, easy. It will be easier than if I was using racing hard. The issue is that if it is a race that will last for a while, that's where the problem will appear. I really like this car though. I mean, the Ford GT has always been a very elegant car. When you give it like that racing appearance, it looks so cool. And I feel like it's pretty fitting, maybe even done on purpose, that it has the number 4. Because it obviously goes with Gran Turismo 4. That's most likely on purpose, since, as I said, it's also the car that is supposed to be the face of the game. So they most likely got permission to give it a 4. Well, given permission. I mean, if you already have permission to use the car in your game, I don't think they will mind whatever number you put in the paint. I could have also used the Camaro for this one, though. I wonder who is the one in last place. Because if the one that is like that far in last place is the Camaro, maybe it's for the best that I didn't pick it. I mean, everyone else is close together, well, with the exception of me, that I'm leaving everyone behind. Oh, someone overtook the Ford GT. I wonder who is supposed to be the fastest car. Because in the previous race it was the yellow one. In this one we saw the Ford GT dominating, but up until now. And now we have like this blue-red car. So who really is the fastest one? Like, who is supposed to be my opponent here? Because in the previous track I could understand that overtaking is almost impossible for the AI. But the most likely scenario is that the yellow car is not the fastest one. Okay, and here the Ford GT is back at second place, so he might be the fastest one after all. I mean, it's most likely the favorite one of the developers, so they most likely made it the fastest one in this championship. It's possible. Well, and here, as I mentioned, the tire wear is not gonna be a problem at all. It also has to do with the track. A track like the previous one with so many mean corners, it's probably gonna wear the tires down a lot more than a track like this one that is a lot easier, you know. also feels like this track on reverse is easier than the regular version. The regular version, there's always a corner that I mess up, but in this version here, I'm not messing it up. It might be because of the car as well, but I feel like I didn't mess it up even with other cars, or what little I remember. Ah, shit. Well, that corner I did mess it up. Okay. Yeah, that was as easy as expected. This track seems like, unless you are using a car that cannot compete with the other ones, this track will never be a challenge to beat. It seems that in this one, the Mazda ended up very far, and the one that is in a completely different category is the rally car, the one that I also have. 9 points in valid run. Hey, be thankful that I'm using this car instead of the Minolta, because there are no restrictions for this. If I really wanted to, I could use the Minolta and obliterate them all, you know? But I don't, because I'm a very thoughtful person. Hey, how is it going, Yannick? We're going to Deep Forest. Deep Dark Forest. Yeah. I feel like these events don't really have they are not as extreme as the game advertises them, but that's fine. I guess they don't have to be, but I feel like some of the professional events were definitely a lot more extreme than this one. Well, not just that, but the regional ones as well felt a lot more extreme as well, so not really sure what's so extreme about them. Especially because when you read the description, it says that it's a series of extreme events that are like high difficulty or some shit like that. These also don't seem very high difficulty. I will assume that the only event that will be high difficulty will be the Formula Championship, as expected, obviously. But come on, dude. That's an exception, not the rule. Also, I read that you got scammed by Gacha. Yannick, what happened? Can you share your story? Did a gacha fuck you over? Did you pay for a gacha? What happened? It's fine, don't worry. Whatever happens, I'll never side with a gacha. Well, depends, but no, not when it comes to payment, most likely. Uma Musume gave me the worst pulls of my entire gacha career. But were they at least free pulls, or did you pay for them? I mean, either way it sucks, but I guess it sucks more if there is money involved, you know? At least if it was free, you can be like, oh well, fuck this game. But if it was for money, you have to say, fuck this game, and then you grab your head and my money, my fight money. Paid with my sweat? Well, yeah, that's a way of seeing it, I guess. But yeah, look, it could be worse. If you paid for it, you will be now not only complain about that you wasted time, But also you will be complaining that you got scammed out of your money, you know? So it could have been worse. But yeah. The only thing I can advise you is to stop playing gacha. I don't know. That's something that it's always a matter of preference, you know? You can go back to grind a shoot 'em up. Because that way you're also grinding. It's just that everything that you do will mostly depend on your skills. I mean, there's always some RNG involved, but yeah, you should be fine, right? We'll probably farm a cave shoot 'em up. You also spent $3 in CCC only to realize the $5 thing gives 6 times more than the thing I bought. Well, that's the classic gacha scam, right? Where they make the currencies hard to understand, so people fall into paying for bad deals. But yeah, my condolences on that one too. Yeah, maybe the solution that you might be looking for is to stop playing gachas. It might be a good idea. But at the same time, I understand that having games like that at least kinda allows you to go in your day-to-day more easily, since they are made in a way that they like kinda give you a reason to log in every day, right? And if you were, for example, farming a shoot 'em up, the only reason to keep playing depends fully on you and your determination. So it's understandable. You could try it a little bit and see how it works. So don't try to be as stupid as me and go try farming Ketsui. That game is a little bit too hard, you know. That game is quite hard. Probably should choose something else. At least only playing 2 now. Yeah, it's good at least that you lower the amount of pain. The pain is still there, but in lower quantities, right? But yeah, I don't know. Oh, Seoul? I don't know what I could recommend you, honestly. Could try farming a Saikyo shoot 'em up. Well, actually, hold up. When Touhou 20 releases, you will have something to farm. Especially considering that you need to unlock stuff to be able to play the game properly, you know? So that can give you an excuse at least to lay off the gacha for a little bit. We'll say that it's a good enough excuse, you know? Though I still, my problem with every time that a Touhou game releases is that you never know when the game is gonna release on Steam. Like, it's probably the only time in modern history where you are not sure when a game is gonna release. It's crazy, dude. Every other game you know very precisely when it's gonna release, without any doubt. Like, obviously, some people might have early access or whatever, if they are streamers or something, but you always have a universal release. But with Toho, you only know when it gets released in Comic. You never know when this asshole, sorry soon, this drunk card is gonna make it available on Steam, you know? You never know. It might be on Sunday, it might be on Monday, it might be on the next Saturday, the one on the next week, right? And that's the problem, like you cannot make plans with something like that. My plan right now, as I mentioned earlier, is that tomorrow I want to stream Toho 19. So that way, assuming it's available by the time I stream on Sunday, I will go from 19 to 20. Like that easily, right? But I don't know if that's gonna be the case. I cannot know that. Yeah, just hoping it's clearable. I mean, it's gonna be clearable. The problem is that you minimum will have to beat the game like 3 times to unlock the needed gems. That's the problem. Though I also know how clearable it's gonna be when it comes to the lower difficulty, because we already know that Lunatic is gonna be a clusterfuck, but are the lower difficulties gonna be much better? Not so sure. And also, what's I ought to say? Oh yeah, you know that these days that I played Toho 16, 17 and 18, one thing that I realized that they all have in common is that instead of dodging the patterns that like you usually always do in some of the older Toho games, even though you obviously have bombs here and there, but for the most part you just wanna dodge. Well, in 16, 17 and 18, that's the last thing you wanna do. What you wanna do in those games is constantly erase bullets. Like you want to exploit every game mechanic to make sure you are never in the position where you need to dodge bullets. Of course, that's optional. Like you can decide to not use the game mechanics if you don't want to. But the thing is that the game encourages you to do that. 20 is not gonna be any different, so it's important to remember that. But at that point it basically becomes a matter of how strong the mechanics are. And for what I've seen in the demo, the mechanics are strong, but they are not strong enough like they are in 18, for example. In 18 there are some card combinations that turn you into an unstoppable killing machine. But in 20 you have some combinations that are quite busted, but nothing close to 18. And the game seems to be even harder than 18 pattern-wise. And especially fucked up when it comes to power. 18 already had an issue with power, and 20 seems seems like it will keep having that issue. So it's all a little bit hard to predict. But yeah, if Soon didn't make any big changes to the gameplay, we might have issues. We might have many issues. And the other day I was remembering that in Toho 17, he did make one big change from the demo to the final release, which is when you use the auto release. In the demo, it's like the spirits around you spin super fast. basically clearing any bullet that even got close to you. While in the full game, they spin slower, so that means that you can only clear some bullets. It's still extremely useful, but not as broken as it was in the demo. So can you imagine he does the same thing in Touhou 20? That instead of making some mechanics easier, he actually nerfs the ones that are good. That will be messed up, but it will be the case. 18 has Yami Onigiri plus 1 power, yeah. The rice balls are a super good mechanic. Like the other day, in fact, I started, instead of using the rice balls, I was doing my previous combination, which was essentially using the Shikieki card, starting with that one, right? And I struggled so much to get a run going with that, even though I did get one when the game released. But the moment I switched to the rice balls that give you 1 point of power when you use them, like it took some tries that were mostly a matter of RNG of getting Shikieki's card afterwards, and I was able to win. And I was able to win by a lot as well. Like the time I was at the end of the game, I could still get hit like 4 more times. And that was a no miss, no bomb. So if we were talking about like a full survival, like with no special conditions, just 1 coin clearing, I will have even more shit left to defend myself with. So that's crazy to me. The Touhou 18 has some very broken cards. That's the whole point of the game. And it seems that 20 follows that, but it really does seem like the power is just not the same. That's the biggest issue. So do these cars have a faster acceleration than me, or what? Though that's not my worry. My worry here are the tires. Because in Hong Kong, I remember in the World Championship, it was probably the track that I had to enter the pits the earliest in the championship. Which means that the tires are most likely not gonna last the end of the race, since these are medium instead of hard. That's because you have to brake so much and steer so much in this very messed up corner, so... Wait, there's something I should realize. While all these tracks having... No, never mind. There is deep forest, so no. I was gonna say, all the tracks in this championship are urban. No, deep forest is not urban. Huh. Well, that's weird. So why are there so many urban tracks here? Well, obviously the answer can be why not, but... Aside from deep forest, every single track has been urban so far. And there are still more urban tracks they could use if they want to. Yeah, that's the weird thing. Now the interesting thing here is that at the very least I should be able to get another advantage as good as the one in Paris, most likely. So even if my tires start failing at the end of the race, I also should have enough of a margin to not worry about them. Because they most likely will start failing at the end. Okay, that's fine. So, are you gonna play 20 on release, Yannick, by the way? Because, you know, even if you're interested in it, you might be like, nah, I'm gonna play it like in Christmas, because I feel like it, right? Just gonna play it by the time that Santa Claus comes to my house. Gonna be like, hey, look at this shit. And then he gives you coal. That's the idea. Playing it in Christmas? Nah, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Yeah, I also wanna play it on release, obviously. But man, it will be such a shit fest, I feel. I cannot promise not getting salty, because it's probably gonna be an experience so similar to UFO. Like, it will most likely feel like I'm playing UFO. But if salt has to happen, salt has to happen, you know. I also think the fact that there is a main game and there is an extra, as every game obviously, but it's like you cannot afford worrying about the extra when the main game is gonna fuck you up the way it will. Well, back when UFO released, I guess not that many people knew about Toho, but I'm assuming that the few that did were probably thinking something similar, right? Like, the game is that fucked up and I still have to worry about an extra. Just that the extra compared to the main game has nothing to do with it in terms of difficulty, right? It's a completely different thing, but still. I don't know what's gonna happen. Every time that a new Toho game releases, I feel uneasy, you know? It's like I have expectations, of course, but it's mostly the fact that I'm not very used to caring about new releases. So every time there is a new release that I do care about, it's such a weird feeling that I'm not used to. I mean, most likely the last game that I care about the release for was Toho 19. And that's how little I care about the release of most games. But it's just one of those things that I have mixed feelings, and even more mixed with the kind of game that this is apparently set to be, you know? Seems like it's gonna be a problem. But it's fine. We will see how it goes. So I'm taking the corner super well right now. Well, Kyle is something that he already told me, but this car drives super well. Like, this car's driving is fantastic. Like I say before, they probably made it on purpose. The fact that they made this specific car so good, since it's the face of the game. It just feels so right to drive, right? It's like everything is in place. Well, and surprisingly here, my tires were able to last until the end. The rear left one was starting to not look very nice, but I think that overall we got it fine. Yeah, so far, just like the previous tournament, I'm also absolutely dominating in this one without any problems. We're halfway through the tournament. Imagine how it was playing Subterranean and... Hold up. Test course, really? This game is trying to copy Gran Turismo 3 now, or what? Oh, but I cannot change the Oh, maybe I can. Hold up. Oh, I'm actually allowed to. Still not sure if I should, but I think I should. Imagine how it was playing SA back in the day, then UFO comes out and you expect it to be like SA, yeah. That will be quite a shock. Yeah, I don't know, I feel like I want to keep it in default. I'm gonna keep it in default, since the previous one seemed like a fair warning on what not to do, but I don't know what's gonna happen here. At least it's gonna be a standing start, but... Test course Pog. If anything, this is test course Resident Sleeper. But at least it's only 2 laps, could be worse. It was Gran Turismo 3, as I say, this will be like 10 laps minimum. Well, it's probably gonna be 10 laps for the Like the Wind event, but we will see. So maybe differently from Gran Turismo 3, changing the gear ratio is not as good as it seems. But do keep in mind that here we might need to worry about drafting. You know, slipstream and shit, right? We might be worrying about that. Because this guy's speed is not faster than me. If anything, we are equal. But the fact that, like, it's basically gonna be a draft battle. So I can let this guy overtake so I can get his slipstream. Come on. Come on, don't be shy. Do it. Do it. It's pretty clear that we are in the exact same condition here. To the point that I cannot even go behind him to get his slipstream. I simply cannot. We are so equal that I cannot do it. Though the interesting thing is that without slipstream, we can still go faster than everyone else. So essentially the only thing I have to worry about is winning against this guy. I could push him, but this is kinda useless. Though, I think the right idea will be to keep pushing him until the last moment of the race, where you overtake him like this. Though I would have lost if that was the final lap. Not sure how good of an idea that is. Maybe you constantly want to block like this instead. Ridge Racer style. Though ironically, Ridge Racer 7 have a very sick draft battle in a pseudo-oval track like this one. Well, this one is a proper oval track. The one in Ridge Racer was a pseudo-oval. And that event was sick. It took me multiple tries to win, but it was such a good event. Well, Ridge Racer 7 is an amazing game in general, but that event stood out because Ridge Racer is always known as the arcade racing game where physics don't matter and shit. And that draft battle was fantastic, like out of a simulator, you know. I really enjoyed it. But here it seems that the plan will be to essentially block this guy. Because the alternative of pushing until the final corner like before the finish line. I can do that, but it's very risky. It can go well the same way it can go badly. Like, that's a strategy that you would consider doing if there were other cars trying to overtake. But since it's only one, and since it goes at the same speed that you go, you might as well block him. Alright. He can still overtake though. Now we're fine. Alright. Got it. Just like that. So basically, it seems that making any changes to the gear distribution in this game, at least for these racing cars, because maybe for a customized car doing that is useful, but for this one it doesn't seem to be the case. For this one it seems like what you want to do is just let it rock on default. So when I redo that test course thing with the Minolta, I should also keep it in default and see how it goes. Beginner course. This is the one that I think it is. The one that is like a couple laps and that's it. Yeah, it's this one. So 27 laps seems crazy, but this track is pretty much the shortest one in the game. Like, what you're seeing right there is what the track is. Like, it's essentially a couple corners, very short straights, and then it's the end. As I was saying the other day, it's kind of like the baby track in Mario Kart. It's the equivalent of the baby track just in Gran Turismo, right? So yeah, 27 might sound crazy, but it's actually very fitting. Some cars also allow downforce modding. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I mean, outside of changing the tires, of course. I don't know if it might be very complex for me. Because when it comes to gear distribution, well, the concept of gear distribution in itself is complex. It's just that if your idea is to get the highest top speed possible, the obvious logic is extending the gears as much as possible. But yeah, that doesn't seem like it works that well with these racing cars. Suzuki Scudo was your favorite car? Well, that seems to be a car that a lot of people remember as well. I remember it too. I used it in Gran Turismo 2. Hey, how is it going? Shishi. Shishi easy lol. Sunny. Oh. I almost went to the pits. Accidentally. That would have been the end of the race. Because the amount of time that I will get stuck in pit will not be recoverable at all. Even with a race like this, it wouldn't have been recoverable. That's messed up. Just love the design of the car. Well, it's certainly a very peculiar car. It doesn't look normal, especially when you compare it to other rally cars that essentially look like, you know, the regular street car but with a lot of painting and modifications, while the Suzuki Scudo just looks like its own thing. Looks like an alien. Yeah, that exotic look is pretty nice. Oh, and we lap the... Speaking of rally car, we lap the rally car for the first time here. Well, according to my calculations, we are gonna lap him 3 times. Which is pretty sad. Yeah, that car is definitely on a completely different category than the rest of us. Looks like a Honda CRX with a huge wing. I think that it's not just the huge wing, the one that looks eccentric. It's also, I think the front of the car looks pretty eccentric as well. It's a car that it's so distinctive that you can immediately identify it just by looking at it. Well, kind of like the car that I'm using right now, the Ford GT. This car is a classic. Car is an absolute classic that, you can recognize easily. The Ford GT is very nice. And this is the car that you get as a reward for beating the last of the professional championships, which is the World Championship. And it's essentially also the face of the game. It's the car that represents the game, pretty much. Now the question is, will my tires be enough here? Though in a track like this, even if they are not enough, I don't mind going slow. And actually, we're gonna overtake the rally car a lot faster than I was expecting. At this rate, I'm gonna lap this guy 4 times instead of 3. That's crazy. Never played 4 a ton, but I love 3A spec. I personally tried playing 3 and outside of the rally races, I didn't like it too much, but yeah, the rally physics, I remember liking them quite a lot. Way more than in this game. Though I think the problem with this game when it comes to rally is less about the physics and more about the fact that the tracks are just too small, you know? So you barely have room to do anything other than going extremely slow. So that barely feels like you're doing rally. It feels more like you're doing a Sunday stroll instead. At least this game does share, it has the tracks that 3 had for rallying. So you have that. Most of them are very narrow. Also, my rear left tire is starting to die. It might still be enough to finish the race, but then it's starting to get red, just as red as that car's color, the one that is right in front of me. Have you played Old School Rally on Steam? No, I haven't. When it comes to rally games, I did play a lot of rally games as a kid, like, you know, B-Rally, like Colin McRae. Games like that. I played a lot of those. But I don't think I prefer them that much now, usually. Maybe I'll get back into them at some point, but also, how is it going, Kael? No, today... No, Toho is gonna be tomorrow. Toho 19, the idea is playing tomorrow. And Vocaloid, I usually like to, you know, wait more between streams. I usually don't play Vocaloid 2 streams in a row. Well, Vocaloid, Project Diva. Yeah, my tire is bleeding, but it's not like I can do much about it. If I were to enter the pits right now, the second place could easily overtake me. So, going to pits is bad. I mean, you can see 10 seconds, it wouldn't be even close to enough. Unless he also pits. I don't think he's gonna pit though. In fact, nobody's pitting. This might be an interesting finale though. Like, I'm not sure anymore what's gonna happen. There are only 2 laps remaining, but this guy is approaching very quickly as expected. And this is, if this was the final lap, I would be safe, but this is not the final lap. This is a problem. This is actually a problem. At least the next one is the final lap, but I cannot even lap the rally car a 3rd time. This is how bad I'm going. He might be able to overtake, but I'm gonna pray that he doesn't. He might be very easily able to overtake. Okay, calm down. Keep it cool. Whew, Jesus. That was something. That was the closest race in the championship so far. That was extremely close. And now I actually have my doubts if entering the pits at not there, but like a lot earlier would have been enough. Probably not. It's an old school rally game that feels like a PS1 game. Very arcade racer. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I would first prefer to play the actual games that it's based on. Oh, Le Mans? Oh, and this is the Le Mans without chicanes, if I'm not mistaken, right? This is Le Mans without chicanes, then. That's a way to obliterate these poor car engines. Hey, I got it. I was playing some Taiko on the 3DS. That game is fun. Hey, I never played a Taiko game, you know. The closest that I've been to playing Taiko is Osu Taiko. And I don't like it. I get dizzy very easily. That horizontally scrolling shit is a problem to me. But I have trouble following stuff because of that. But it's fine. I was thinking, hey, do you know how to capture a 3DS, Kyle? I mean, by capturing, I mean, you know, capturing the feed to stream it, not capture as in... Do you know how to steal a 3DS? No. Because for what I understand, the 3DS doesn't have an HDMI output, right? I don't even know if it has an output of any kind. Well, aside obviously from the screen output that you see. But I'm not sure how it would be. Gun usually works. No. Yeah, video capture. Yeah, exactly. That's what we want. We want a video capture. I don't think a gun is gonna be very useful there. Also, pretty crazy that the Ford GT at top speed can reach a very similar speed than the Le Mans prototypes. It's not quite there, and it needs slipstream, but it's still fuck. The times I did that, I did it with the LMP, so I could brake a lot later, but with this car you cannot brake that late. Need to brake a lot earlier. Yeah, gone. Need to either stream the feed or install a video card. Wait, what do you mean install a video card? I have a video card, you know? Have an RTX 3060. I know that you mean another type of video card, but I don't know how much they cost. Yeah, but that doesn't seem like a good idea to me. I wouldn't want to open my PC if it's possible. You know, so yeah, I don't think that it's a good idea. And streaming the feed is an even worse idea. Now, obviously, I could emulate it the same way I emulated it already, but as expected, there are so many games on the 3DS, well, and the DS as well, that you obviously want to play with a stylus, not with a mouse. Like playing, DS games that are meant to be played with a stylus and playing them with a mouse absolutely sucks. I already had that bad experience with the Kirby games. Trying to play those Kirby games with the mouse instead of a stylus sucks. It's possible. I mean, I was able to beat them after all. But man, it's something that I don't think I will wish on anyone. It honestly could be worse. It's not extremely terrible, but it's obviously a lot more fun to use a stylus. And as I also say, you could, like, you know, get a drawing tablet to emulate the touchscreen, but it's not the same because you cannot see what's happening in the touchscreen, you know? Citra War, the last version, is wonky for a lot of games. The modern force have fixes. Tenran Kagura will constantly run at half FPS visually. Yeah, I mean, I'm not very worried about that. Like, it is a shame that Citra got discontinued, but aside from that, as I say, my problem is the fact that I cannot play with a stylus. And games like, for example, Pokemon Rangers, you want to play that with a stylus. I mean, that's a DS game, not 3DS, but still, the point stands, you know. So what we learn here is that we want to start braking a lot earlier here in this corner. Without a doubt. So far, aside from, well, the test course and the previous race in the beginner course. Oh, wow. The reason why I lost control is because I braked while my tire was in the grass. Anyways, I was about to say that every other race in this championship has been free. Even though I'm using essentially what's the intended car, you know? I mean, that seems to be a constant in in this Gran Turismo. And I guess in your Gran Turismo as well, that if you pick a car that is one of your opponents, you're most likely gonna dominate. Unless obviously you make a lot of mistakes, but you should play normally. Your opponents are not gonna stand a chance. The only way they can stand a chance is you using an underpowered car. And if you do that, in places like the test courses where you cannot do much, or you're kinda bone. It's whatever. So here we go. Race A. There are 2 more. Gotta remember to autosave after the next one. And where is the next one gonna be? El Capitan. I didn't wanna see this damn track again. So I guess we will. We cannot escape this track. I'm not a fan of this track. I already said it multiple times, but I'll keep saying it. I'm not a fan of this track. Sit still up, El Capitan. Yeah, I already did that. That's why, well, part of the reason why I don't want to, you know, I don't want to touch this track again. It's fine. Also, this track is very similar to some of the tracks from Drive Club, as I mentioned the other day, and I was able to play Drive Club yesterday. So when I'm done with with this game, which might be in a long time, but when I'm done with this game, I'm gonna start with Drive Club. I had to create a new account because with the one that I had before, I can just play what I already did, but I did everything. So the idea will be to start from scratch, of course. The good thing about PlayStation 4 is that you can create a new account, a new local account, but you don't really need to create a PlayStation account with it. It can simply be a local account with its own progress and its own shit, but that it's only local and that's it. So that's pretty cool, because having to create a whole account from scratch simply to have a new save kinda sucks. At the same time, you could be like, well, it's the game's fault that it doesn't have a way to choose between multiple saves, but I think that nowadays the whole idea of a save doesn't really exist. Like, your whole progress is abstract, it's all there. You know? Well, not like it's much different with this game, for example. This game you also cannot easily swap between saves. Like, here you will have to bring another memory card. I don't think there is any in-game way of switching between saves. You will just have to take the memory card away and put another one. For games like this, and for Drive Club as well, I guess it makes sense, since you normally wouldn't do multiple runs, but in this case that basically gonna play it for the first time after 10 years, you definitely will want to have a clean start, obviously. Well, it's not like it needs to be 10 years in order to do that, but the point is that you kinda want to, you kinda wanna start from scratch if you're gonna stream it. Because otherwise it's like, yeah, look at how nice I played this 10 years ago when I wasn't streaming, and you will have no way of knowing how it was. Now, you wanna play it from the beginning, obviously. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that game. Though, also keep in mind that it's probably gonna be as long as this one, if not longer. It probably not longer. So it's hard to tell. That, like, Drive Club has so many events, and each event has multiple objectives that, well, you can get them all in a single race, but some of them are hard and might require multiple attempts. Unlike this game where if you are picking a car that, you know, is the right one for the job, you are not gonna need to retry. I mean, it already happened multiple times that I didn't need to retry it, but precisely because I was picking a shitty car, you know? That's the reason. Okay, once you know exactly what car to pick, you're most likely gonna beat everything on your first try. In Drive Club, not so much. Gonna be a lot harder. Yeah, the game, I like it. So, the thing is that the way I'm talking about Drive Club sounds like I'm talking about a masterpiece that is the best game ever. The truth is that I don't like Drive Club more than this game, for example. Or more than any Gran Turismo, well, I guess except for 3. But like, Drive Club is not really even high in my list of favorite racing games. It will have to come after Ridge Racer, after Gran Turismo, after some of the Need for Speed games. Well, after Mario Kart, after a lot of games actually. So it's not like it's a tremendous game, but I do wanna play it. Without a doubt. Alright. Only one race to go. But yeah, so far this has been extremely free. Even with this, with the racing medium tires that I thought they might be a problem at some point. No, they are not. Well, they were a problem on the beginner course, yes, I gotta admit, but I was able to win regardless. Alright, so let's autosave. I'm gonna reset the game as well to reduce the odds of a crash, as I already said. So, autosave, yes, it autosave. Alright, reset real quick. And then wait, memory card busy? What the fuck you mean memory card busy? What? It wasn't busy. You are busy. Can you imagine that I just corrupted my save? No, to be honest, I did hit the warning and I didn't exit when it said that, but it already saved. Well, maybe the emulator takes a little bit longer to save, it's possible. Alright, come on. Yeah, don't worry, it's saved properly, alright? No save corruption. A save corruption here will hurt so much. So I do have a state from the previous championship. Oh, it's gonna be Monaco for the last one. Well, that's a cool way to end the championship at least. Rip save, nah, we're fine, bro. Don't worry about it. We're 100% fine. Yeah, nothing to worry about. Alright, so on to Monaco. I like the idea here. And Monaco so far, it gave me a lot of good races, just like Laguna Seca. I think that most of the races in these tracks have been very interesting, so I'm looking forward to it. Did I bring back the capture, by the way? I want to believe you are not seeing a black screen, right? It should be fine. I keep being paranoid about that, but pretty sure we're fine. But if it's a black screen, imagine the action in your head. I'm just kidding. Okay. Also, did you know, Kyle, that seems that Gran Turismo killed my channel? Now, I don't know what happened, but around the time that I was playing Gran Turismo like a week ago, apparently I got dropped out of the algorithm. Now it seems like I no longer get recommended. It doesn't really make a difference outside of simply numbers, so I don't particularly care, but it's pretty interesting how YouTube can basically make it so out of nowhere you are recommended to random people, and then one day it no longer does that. Well, it also doesn't help that I think a couple days ago they roll out an update that say that you needed to verify if you were an adult, because otherwise you couldn't use the site. So that might have been a problem as well. I don't know. Maybe I did something that I said something that Mr. YouTube didn't like, but what could I have said? I say a lot of things that I don't think that Mr. YouTube would like. Maybe I say something in particular that really pissed them off. Could it be? Hard to tell. Now, I say that Monaco gives you interesting races, but unfortunately this one doesn't seem to be one of them. Fortunately, it seems to be the exception. I guess that this car, after all, might have been overkill, but how do you know that? I know that, first of all, because the numbers, like, I try to ignore the numbers, but YouTube basically feeds you numbers up the ass. Like, as soon as you end the stream, the YouTube shows you like an image with the statistics with views and shit like that. And essentially, ever since like that Gran Turismo stream that I did the World Championship the first time, the numbers have gone down a cliff. But also, one of these days, you know, when my mom tries to catch the stream, it goes to the main page and it usually always appears there because she watches me every day, right? It didn't appear. Like, for the first time, it did not appear in her main page while I was streaming. So she actually had to manually go to my channel to catch the stream. So, seems that YouTube did something to my channel. Again, I don't really care because it's only numbers. the actual people that come here are still the same as always. It's just that the thing is that when your channel gets recommended, you have people that click on the video and then maybe they, when they realize that it sucks, they click away. Which is the reason why I don't really care, but it's just an interesting observation. But hey, I don't know, dude. Hey, you're a woman? Come on, dude. You think I'm Ragnar? I'm not Ragnar. I wouldn't want to be Ragnar either, though. Especially with that whole stop existing thing. I think that would have been a good idea. But yeah, no, I don't know what happened, but I also been looking ever since that thing with the user age, like the verification thingy rolled out. A lot of people were mentioning YouTube alternatives. Of course, YouTube doesn't have an alternative. Like, that's false. Like, you might have other services that try to do the same, but not at the level of YouTube. And the one that I saw, one of them is called BitChute, I think. I mean, it seemed whatever, but it's pretty clear that the traffic on that thing is nothing compared to YouTube. That's not a bad thing for small streamers like me, because it wouldn't make a difference. If anything, you will be one of the only ones there, so you will probably get more attention than on a gigantic platform like YouTube. I don't really have any reason to switch, you know. But it could be a problem if regular viewers start having the issue with the age verification. Well, I know you, Kyle, won't have it because just like me, you're South American, and so far our governments haven't gone full dumb with this sort of internet protection bullshit. But if that ever happens, well, if that ever happens, let me know. Then again, theoretically, even the countries that implement that, theoretically, if you are not underage, you shouldn't have any problems. But apparently, the thing that detects that you're underage is an AI, assuming that you don't already gave YouTube your identity thingy. But yeah, anyone that, you know, has trouble with that, let me know. Just out of curiosity, not like I can do anything about it, you know. Not like I can tell you to, hey, let this guy watch videos in peace. No, I don't have that sort of power. I would just like to know if you have trouble. But it seems that so far there is no problems like that at all. Seems that it's just algorithm fuckery. And when it comes to algorithm, with the YouTube algorithm, the best thing you can do is ignore it. Unless your life depends on it, like it's your show, that will be a problem. Alright. Well, Just like almost every other race, this has been free. Absolutely free, even. So free that I really wonder where is the extreme part of these events. Because I have trouble deciphering that, you know. Doesn't seem to be many extreme things about this. But yeah, that's okay. I guess they don't need to be extreme. So I would have expected it with that name. It seems like the only extreme thing is gonna be the Formula Championship, and that's it. Well, alright, sure, why not? But yeah, that was so free, dude. That was really free. I was about to say that I forgot to save state in case it crashes, but yeah, no, don't worry. It did not crash. Alright. That was total victory. 100 points. That means perfect championship. And what did we get? Oh, it's the red and blue card that was an opponent. And we got a worse card than the one I used to win. It's fine. So, well, with the time remaining today, I could try doing like the win, well, and also beat that shit that I couldn't with the Minolta. So for like the win, I obviously won the Minolta, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough. I would assume that the cars here are specifically made to go as fast as possible. We will see though, it is a single race. It's 5 laps. That's crazy to me. Like, that really shows you how much Gran Turismo 3 sucks. The fact that the longest and main event here on the test course is only 5 laps, while in 3 it was, you know, an exaggeration at all times. I don't know, unless they made something special to these cars, they shouldn't be any different than, you know, simply winning the slipstream battle. Like, I don't need any customization here, right? No, I don't think I do. But we will see. Well, that's something we wouldn't know until the end. And they almost fucked me up. So at the same time, here you can already tell that with slipstream, my Minolta is struggling to not break the engine. But this is basically gonna be a slipstream battle. Nothing more, nothing less. Yeah, I guess I did make a mistake on the other championship by making my gearbox be the way it was. Well, unfortunately, as much as didn't change the gear ratios. No, see, here's the thing. I changed the gear ratios for one of the previous championships, and doing that is what made me lose. Like, here, by not changing the gear ratios, I'm actually winning. And it's what I should have done in that other one. Because the opponent pool here is the exact same. I mean, they weren't the same opponents I was fighting, but that's because of RNG, but it was the same opponent pool, so you don't need anything other than use the default gear ratio. The moment you change the gear ratio is the moment you lose. So that's very different from Gran Turismo 3. Though, as I also was saying before, the gear ratio thing might be more for non-racing cars. And maybe racing cars are already fully customized to make it the best it can possibly be, most likely. But yeah. Then there is one poor car that is completely far from everything. Unbelievable. Maybe there is a technically better configuration that does not involve putting the gears all the way to the right. Because as you can see here, the car is not going faster because it otherwise will reach the red line. But it could probably go faster if the gear ratio was a little bit longer instead. But not if it goes long all the way. Seems that you still need to exercise some restraint. Making it go all the way, it makes it go slower. Essentially, the whole point about this is blocking. Also, in this camera, the engine is extremely loud. So I hope I'm not destroying your ears too much. Hope that your ears are fine. But I don't even know if you can listen to me. Hopefully you can. But it's very loud right now. That's what I know. Very, very loud. Thankfully it's only 5 laps. Oh, I don't think we can block this. No, in fact we can. It was pretty funny to see the Mercedes actually compete, because the top speed can definitely compete here. What I don't know is who is the car behind them. Essentially the car that is in 5th place right now. Yes. That one was not left behind, but also didn't really try to get close. Well, maybe it tried and it simply was not enough, you know. That can always be the case. Look at the beast. It looks like a Cerberus, right? Like the 3 heads are trying to pick, and the Minolta over 2. Yeah, I think the one that is in 5th place is the other Nissan. Like the Nissan R89. That's the one in 5th place. Might be on 4th place right now, I'm not sure. Now the issue is that if they are gonna push... Oh, they are not gonna push each other actually. The Nissan is trying to overtake on the right side. Not gonna work. Well, it might work actually. Might actually work, never mind. We will see though. Now we should be fine. This is anyone's game, you know. This could go in, you know, anyone's favor. Wait, are you pitting in? No way. Really? And the only one that didn't pit in was the No, it was the Mercedes, the one that didn't pit in. Damn, it's even getting bugged on the time delta. I can't believe the Mercedes actually... But then that's so stupid. in an event like the Wind, like, I feel like there should be a restriction that doesn't let them pit, because otherwise, where is the challenge? It's not like you need tires to do this, you know? You can do it just fine with what you have. Even if they become red, you can still steer without issues, so that's very stupid. Like, maybe in another event I could understand, but in this one, that is supposedly about going as fast as possible, seems a little bit disappointing. Then again, it seems that anything that involves the test course ends up being disappointing, so I don't think that those are news. Seems like the test course has to be completely retired. It's not doing it. It's not doing much. I mean, it's supposed to be a test course. It's supposed to be for testing, not for actual races, you know? Whatever. As you wish. You should be ashamed that the Mercedes CLK was able to beat you all. Very, very sad. Whatever. Not my problem. What car are you even gonna get from this? Like, what car could you get from something that is outgoing fast? Volkswagen Nardo. I don't think that one is gonna be anywhere close to as fast as those, but alright. Interesting, I guess. So, before ending the stream, well, I want to win that test course one as well, but I could do one of these two that are about single races. So you have real circuit tours and premium sports launch. This one, I wanna see what the cars participate. Suzuka in 6 laps. These are also long races. I mean, 6 laps could be worse, but that's still quite a lot. Seems to be okay, it's the same pool of cars of the previous championship that I played, like the one with the Ford GT. It seems... Wait, hold up, did I see an LMP? Wait, isn't that an LMP, the one in second place? I'm assuming no. Hold up, how do you switch the cam? Oh, that's how you... That's an LMP, isn't it? That car is not from this category. Well, I don't know if using the Ford GT will be a good idea for that. And now I'm kinda having my doubts. Alright, hold up. There is that and then there's this one. But it requires specific cars. So when it says Ford GT, I'm assuming it means the original. Like, it doesn't mean the racing one I have, right? I wanna check, might as well. Okay, I'm assuming you mean the one from like the 90s or whatever. Let me check. Yeah. Well, not to mention it already mentions production cars. Do I even have any of this? I don't think I... Well, actually, I do have a Mercedes McLaren. It's just that it's a racing car as well, so... I guess no. Hold up, let me check that list again and see if I remember it. BMW, Lotus Esprit... Can someone remember that for me? I'm gonna try to remember, but I don't think I will remember. Alright, hold up. I don't think there is a way to... Well, you can order by, you know, alphabetically. So I don't have the BMW. I don't have the Aston Martin either. Wait, will the Dodge Viper count as a premium sports car? Or is it too modern? Maybe that's the issue. Yeah, I don't have the Ford GT that it wants. I do have this Lotus Esprit. Right? Yeah, that's the one I have. And then the other one that it was asking for, which one was it? Well, I don't think I have it regardless. Yeah, Aston Martin, yeah, I know, but... So, I will assume that the Dodge Viper doesn't count. But this Lotus Esprit should count. Problem is that unless the other cars are as slow as this one, I'm not winning shit here. Like, this car is very slow. I mean... Oh, okay, you don't like this one. This particular Esprit is not of your liking. My bad. Excuse me, princess. Oh, the one that I didn't check is Mercedes SLR McLaren. Yeah, but the problem is that unless you give me the full list, I mean, sure, I could pick one of those, but unless you give me the full list, I could only guess what you mean by premium sport cars. Hey, I don't have that Mercedes either. Well, I guess I'll worry about that some other time. What I will do is try the Ford GT for the other competition, the one above it. I'm not gonna do all the races today because I don't have enough time, but I could do a couple ones. Assuming this car is good enough for that, which I don't know, it might not be. I will probably want to do this too, for example. Just like that. And then we will see. Well, I also want to do the test course. So yeah, I think doing 2 from this and the test course. Okay, I guess it is about Le Mans prototypes after all. My bad. Alright. That's an interesting surprise. Yeah, the Ford GT is not allowed here. Was pretty funny. Yeah, that's fucked up, dude. I look at the preview and I knew that there was an LMP there, but it seemed like it was the exception, no? No, it's not the exception. Yeah, Minolta Shamsker. But bro, what's the point of this event? Like, we already had LMP championships in real life circuits. Like, there's no reason to separate it here. Oh, we're gonna have the Mazda for the first time. Ooh, I like this. I wanna see it. I never raced against the Mazda before. Nice, I wanna see it. I could also probably pick medium racing tires instead of the hard ones, but I think at this point I'd rather just ride with the hard ones until the end. But it seems that the Mazda, well, it's hard to tell by only a couple of corners, but it seems that the idea is that it might be the equivalent of the Minolta and the Nissan R92. Seems to be about that. Which makes sense. I mean, it's supposed to be the same type of competition as well. But keep in mind that since this is not a championship, the opponents are constantly gonna rotate. They are not always gonna go against this. But it will be essentially the same rotation pool as as the other events, as the World Championship, you know. I find this to be very unnecessary because you could very easily do the same thing with, like, or rather, you already did this. Not like you have to do anything. Like, you already had these tracks in other competitions that involve these cars, so no reason to single them out. Because that's what I feel like. As outside of the Formula Championship, none of these events are extreme. Like, none of these are harder than the World Championship. Well, you could say they are equivalent, and not even, because the World Championship had more laps. So it's not even like they are like that either, you know? So it feels very weird to me. I might as well, instead of doing that, just straight up give you the Formula Championship and that's it. You know? Because the AI of the opponents is not better either. Like, the AI is the exact same. Just as slow as it was in the World Championship. So feels a little bit disappointing with the fact that that it is advertised as extreme when there's nothing extreme about them. I am interested though in the competition below this one, the one that requires premium sport cars. Since they are specific, it's very restrictive. Not like you can pick whatever you want, so honestly, I don't know which one I would want to pick, because I wouldn't want the Ford GT since I already have one that is a racing car. The Lotus Esprit, I already used it in Gran Turismo 3. I guess otherwise I would pick it, but I like usually going for variety, right? Actually, I think I'm gonna go for the Aston Martin. I think that's my idea. I don't think I use Aston Martin that much in these playthroughs. Well, either that or the BMW. That's also a cool idea. Mercedes I also already use quite a bunch. I think the idea will be either Aston Martin or BMW. Well, both will be useful since they are European cars, and I still have European events remaining, so I could also check if there are European events that overlap with that. I don't know. See, you were worrying, Kael, earlier that, oh, I thought you were streaming something else, so I arrived late. Well, it doesn't matter. If you saw the Gran Turismo World Championship, you already saw everything that I did today. Yes, the Ford GT one is an exception, but it was just as free as the World Championship, so I don't really think it counts either. So yeah, you didn't really miss anything. I will say that there wasn't much to look forward to. In fact, I think that now I'm looking more forward to the remaining European events that I haven't done yet than the extreme ones. They really are not very extreme at all. So maybe, as you say, it would have been a good idea to try them with the black cars, since the black cars are supposed to be worse than the real ones. Maybe it would have provided a greater challenge, but at the same time, the same way I'm not a fan of farming is the same way I'm not a fan of like repeating the same shit over and over just to have them appear at the used car shop. So I think in this case the Minolta was truly the only option. It was either the Minolta or the Minolta. There wasn't another option. So what was the next track? This is Suzuka Circuit, and the next one... I don't remember. I know the third one was Tsukuba, but... The next one I wish I remember, but I don't. But I think that unlike what I say I will do, instead of doing a couple of ones, I'm just gonna do this one and the test course that I couldn't win, and then I'm done for today. I think that doing another one of these races today seems like a bad idea. It seems like it won't be very interesting. I could leave it for some other time. There is one thing that I do want to plan for the next time, which is the car that I'm gonna use for the final extreme competition. I still haven't done the Polyphony Digital Cup, but I kinda doubt that that one is gonna be any different than the first one that I played today. Unless it has... Well, actually no, it will be different. Because for starters it requires standard or sport tires instead of racing ones. So it will be different, but yeah, whatever. I mean, if you really want to, you can just use the sport tires on them in all and obliterate everyone. Kinda like how I did in the Endurance, that instead of using like an intended sport car, I just use a racing car with with like comfort standard tires. So if you end up doing that, you will have to play very badly to lose. You're just gonna leave everyone behind. And this Polyphony Digital Cup seems like it has the potential to do the same. So we had both Nissan Speed, but not the Mazda. The Mazda kept going. Or did it? Wait, did it? Yeah, right? Yeah, it did. So the Mazda has a way higher resistance when it comes to tire wear than the Nissan, and I'm assuming the Minolta as well. That being said, you are still pretty far from me. Yeah, I don't think you're winning. Yeah, 17 seconds behind. I will probably guess that he wasted time when the other guys tried to pit in. He probably crashed behind them. Even then, you are still not even close. Not even close. Well, that, to nobody's surprise, was free. And the fact that they give me 21 points is very offensive. Not because it's too little, it's because it's too much. Trying to paint the black grip for the 3DS, but it ended up looking a bit like shit. It happens. We are not professional designers after all, so it happens often. Alright, so hold up. First of all, I'm gonna finish this test course, like, just to get it out of the way. Like, I don't want this event to look like silver. Shame that it's in the test course, but if anything, that's... Oh, we're getting the chaparral and the shower. well, the Chaparral seems like it's free. But the Shower last time did very well, and not to mention that the Sauber also showed up, and the Sauber is precisely the one that won last time. Well, and there goes the Chaparral. But the Chaparral is not the one I thought it was. So it was a different car. It's pretty sad that I didn't get it the first time simply because... Or I might not get it now either. I mean, keep in mind that the Sauber Mercedes is here, so... Even though I think that the configuration I had last time was the problem, I think technically the Sauber is faster than me. It's a miracle that the car even starts, I agree. So what's the name of that other car that I was talking about the other day? You know what, a white car that has like two fans on the rear? I thought that one was the Chaparral, but it's just an old-ass car instead. The one I'm talking about, is it even in this game? I feel like I saw it once though, in this game. But maybe I'm hallucinating and I never saw it. That's also possible. Well, the Mercedes is approaching. Oh, it's approaching, yeah. Quite fast even. But I think that of this category, of this pool of cars, I think the Sauber Mercedes is the best one. Maybe I'm wrong and it's still the Minolta, but I think it's the Sauber. That guy seems to be on a different league. They're pretty sad that I just didn't go with this default configuration the first time, because I would have won for free. Well, you might be thinking not for free, because you still need to block, but I mean I would have done the exact same thing I'm doing right now, you know. There is an Audi that looks like an alien themed car. Yeah, it might be that one. Oh, the Shower is approaching as well. See, this situation can be a problem. The thing is that in the first attempt, when I was actually doing the championship, the only fast car was the Sauber Mercedes. Every other car was a shower car, without exception. So you only had to worry about the Sauber, but here you also have to worry about the Shower. And the Shower is also a fast car. I don't think it's faster than the Mercedes, but it's definitely up there. I mean, you can easily tell by the fact that it can keep up without problems. The one that looks like a Minecraft car is the Chaparral Touche. Oh, so I was right that it's the Chaparral one then. Just that it's a different Chaparral. Instead of the old one here, it's like another one. Like a more modern version. I was about to say, because I remember associating that name with that design, not with the design of the shower car that appears in this race. Beat the World Championship with the Chaparral. I mean, if I couldn't beat it with the Mercedes, I don't think I'm beating it with that. Will be cool if I was capable of that. But no, I'm not. And differently from like the Wind, where like half of the cars went to pits and it stopped being a problem, here these cars you have to block them until the very end. That's another thing that makes like the win such a disappointing event. Even this random race in the middle of a championship is a higher challenge than that. Which is pretty stupid. I guess it is the way it is. Well, I'm ashamed of not having done this the first time. If I had done this the first time, I wouldn't have needed to retry this shit again. But yeah, better late than ever, you know, as I always say. But now, hopefully, we can forget that the test course exists. Yeah, maybe it will show up again at some point. I hope it doesn't, though. I hope that they forget that the test course exists, so I can forget about it too. So before I end the stream, I wanna check if there is a European event that has a car that is shared between that and this. Between that extreme event and this one. Neither BMW or Aston Martin are Italian, so this one is for all cars. This one also doesn't share them. But they forget about that one. And this Charlesval has the BMW, but it's not the same one. So yeah, I don't think none of those cars are sharing between the two. So if you wanted to buy anything, you will probably want to buy that Aston Martin, and that's it. That Aston Martin, that is this one, the Vanquish. Seems a little bit expensive. I mean, it's supposed to be Aston Martin. It's either that or the BMW. And the BMW... what does it even have? In comparison... Was it the M5? I think it was, right? Seems better and cheaper, but hard to tell just by looking at that. Well, that's not something that the Gabi of today is gonna worry. Gonna be something that the Gabi of some other day is gonna worry. Not tomorrow though. Tomorrow I plan on playing Toho. I don't know when. Like, the idea is that after this, if Toho 20 releases, I'm probably gonna play that for a while, but I think that whenever I'm done with Toho 20, I'm gonna go back to this and finish the events that are remaining, at least the beatable ones. And yeah, we will see. But in any case, thanks everyone a lot for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next stream. So have a good one, and take care.